Hi everyone, Vincenzo here with a new UK tutorial. This week, let's work on strumming patterns. This is the 8th lesson of a 10-lesson series designed to take your playing to the next level. So, no ukulele course will be complete without talking about strumming patterns, and they're such a fundamental part of your playing. Today, I'm going to be showing you 5 ways to make your strumming patterns sound more interesting and more professional. Let me add that another very important skill to master is the ability to create your own strumming patterns. I did a tutorial and a ukulele challenge on this topic. You can find everything over here. Having said that, enough with the talking and let's get started. One of the topics that I get asked the most in my DMs on Instagram is strumming patterns. What strumming pattern can I play for this song? How many strumming patterns do I need to know? These are all important questions, but a question that I don't think I've ever been asked, apart from my one-to-one students, is how should I play this strumming pattern? You see, it's not just about following the down-up pattern, because that's just one of the aspects to consider. How you play a strumming pattern will make the difference between having a basic strumming pattern versus a professional one. So let's dive deeper into this idea, because I believe that everyone who wants to improve their strumming pattern game needs to hear about this. Dynamics. So I'm sure you've heard this word before. Dynamics means how quietly or loudly a piece of music should be played. Now, within one strumming pattern, you can have, and in my opinion, you should have, different dynamics. You don't want all the strums to have the same volume, basically. Let me give you an example. Let's take this strumming pattern. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. One more time. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. By the way, I'm playing a G with my left hand. Now I'm gonna play the second and the last downstroke louder, with an accent basically. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. Again, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. Adding dynamics doesn't mean necessarily that certain strums have to be louder. In fact, you could instead play some of the strums quieter and you would have the same effect. For example, 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. Down, down, up, down, up, down. You see, I was playing everything after the first strum quieter. Adding dynamics is the first thing I recommend to take your strumming patterns to the next level, because dynamics not only make your patterns more interesting, but also make it easier for the listener and for someone who's playing with you to follow and understand what you're playing. Now let's work on highlighting the changes of a song through your strumming patterns. Understand this: when you're strumming, you're working within the rhythm section of a song, similar to what a drummer does. You know, drummers sometimes play short fills like this or this one. They play these fills to signal that something is happening in the song. For example, the verse is starting again or the chorus has just started. You can do the same with your strumming patterns. Let me show you how. Let's take the same strumming pattern you've played before. You know this one. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. And for example, to signal the beginning of a verse, let's add an hammer-on beat 1, like this. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. Hammer-on, down, up, down, up, down. One more time. 3, 4, down, down, up, down, up, down. Bear in mind, you're not going to be playing the hammer-on all the time, but just at the beginning of a verse. Then you carry on with the same pattern as it was. One of the main differences between a pro player and a beginner one is that the pro player doesn't play the exact same pattern all the time. By the way, if you want to learn more ways to signal that something is happening in a song through your strumming patterns, I did an entire tutorial on this topic. You can check it out here. Another way to make your strumming patterns more interesting is to combine strumming and plucking. So instead of strumming everything, you pluck some of the strums. So say you have a simple strumming pattern like this. 3, 4, down, down, up, up, down, 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 up, up, down. What you're gonna do is only strum on beat 2 and 4, basically the second and the last downstroke. The other strums are gonna be plucked, like this. 3, 4, pluck, strum, pluck, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, pluck, strums. One more time. 3, 4, pluck, strum, pluck, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, pluck, strum. Notice that when I strum, I'm actually doing this movement. I do this so that my hand and my fingers don't move too much, so that I can quickly pluck the chord after. Let me do it again. 3, 4, pluck, strum, pluck, pluck, strum, pluck, strum, pluck, pluck, strum. By the way, to pluck, I'm using one finger per string. The thumb for the fourth string, the index for the third string, the middle finger for the second string, and the ring finger for the first string. Now let me show you a technique that can help you a lot when you're strumming a rock song or in general a quieter section of a song. Palm muting. So let's take the same strumming pattern you played before. 3, 4, down, down, up, up, down. Now I'm gonna add palm muting. So 3, 4, down, down, up, up, down. All you have to do is rest your right hand palm over here, just a bit before the bridge. One more time. 3, 4, down, down, up, up, down. Again. One more thing, palm muting works very well when you're strumming everything down to create a build-up, like this. The last thing that I want to show you today is staccato chords. These are very popular in jazz, in blues, and so on and so on. I'm talking about this. So let's take a very simple strumming pattern. 3, 4, down, 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 down. Again, 3, 4, down, 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 down. Quarter notes, everything down. Now let's play each downstroke staccato, which means shorter. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let me show you how to get this sound. In order to play staccato, I lift up lightly my left hand fingers between one strum and the other. You see? But also I'm controlling the open strings, meaning, for example, when I play G, I am muting the fourth string using my thumb. Now, staccato works better when you play chords that don't have that many open strings. So, for example, if you're playing A minor, you need to work a bit harder, and in fact, you need to use the ring finger and the pinky to stop the sound. Still, it's not that ideal. In fact, in the case of a chord with too many open strings like A minor, I suggest you use an alternative shape. So for example, this A minor. And you see the staccato sound is much better now. By the way, if you want to practice your staccato further, learn how to play Back to Black by Amy Winehouse, where you have a strumming pattern that uses staccato. Okay, so the aim of this tutorial was to show you how you can take your strumming patterns to the next level. Of course, I showed you one way at the time, but you can combine them. For example, you could strum and pluck and use palm muting, or you could play staccato chords and add dynamics. The bottom line is that your strumming patterns need to have variations, and of course remember not to use one strumming pattern for an entire song, as this is very repetitive. Your homework for today is to go through one or two songs that you already know and use some of the things you learned today in the strumming patterns. On my Patreon page, you can find the PDF for all the strumming patterns I've taught you today, and some drum beats to help you practice. By the way, for this 10 lesson series and in general for all my tutorials, you have the option of sending me your homework, whether it's a video or an audio file, and receiving some personalized feedback from me. That is if you join the Master Ukulelist tier. Also, don't forget that if you learned something from this video and you would like to say thank you, you can buy me a coffee, link in the description. That's all for now. Let me know in the comments if everything is clear. And don't forget to download my free 8-step roadmap, link in the description, that will tell you the exact process I follow to learn the ukulele and that will support your learning in this 10 video series. Moreover, check out the other links in the description to learn more about the types of classes that I got available at the moment. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my new tutorials. Having said that, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next week with the 9th lesson of this YouTube course. Ciao!